All right.
What are we doing here?
We're here on the start of the big garage project. This is the client. He's very demanding. Only the best for this client.
That's right.
This would be my father.
All right,
He
come here.
is gonna help us out a little bit. This is my brother Elijah. He's really the pickiest one on this job. Quality must be met.
He's making a movie. He's making a movie with the camera there. Yeah. All right.
All right, so here we go.
Yeah.
We're just getting started. It's the first day of recording. I wish it was the first day of the job, but we've already been working a couple days. It's just to get to this point. Garage extension
Garage extension.
with a deck. It's gonna be 16 foot long by 8 foot deep. So it'll be a pretty nice size little deck. That's the plan. Got about, what do we say, about 12 foot. Came out another 8 foot, 9 foot garage door.
Which we would like to have a 10, but 9 is standard, and Daddy doesn't want to pay for 10.
No, 8 standard.
8 is standard.
8 is
Okay,
standard.
So we
We're
did
already-
upgrade to 9, but I would have liked to have a 10 just to have more leverage room, but
We're
that-
already above.
way above.
We're 9 foot wide and 8 foot tall, which is also an upgrade. 8 foot tall, 7 foot, I think is standard. So we got an extra foot. Contracted someone to come in and pour and set this block. Well, we dug in the footer,
Yeah, hand dug the footer.
hand dug the footer,
Laid rebar.
subcontracted the walls. And then-
Massive metal, massive rebar.
Massive metal. And then I filled it full of concrete. We set our seal plate, and that's where we're at as of right now. All right,
Solid concrete wall.
solid concrete.
That's the way we like it.
Get Elijah to test it.
Elijah tested and gave his approval. He's beat on it quite a few times already.
We've tested it right here.
And Daddy even ran into it with the truck just to make sure it was sound. It's solid.
Let's see. As you can see, on the previous trip, we've already replaced a lot of the sheathing on the house. We're gonna be setting a new French door, a large window, and a smaller window up top. We've gone ahead and got our first run of house wrap up and set a vinyl flashing band for our ledger board. All right,
Yeah. Shed roof.
shed roof on the garage.
Yeah, instead of a roof, because Daddy wants to save money. Money, money, money.
Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and start peeling off this old house wrap, and of course immediately we find a wasp nest, so we have to run to the shed, grab some wasp and hornet killer, spray the nest, chase a few around the yard screaming die wasp, die. Then we're gonna go ahead and get back to work. What we're doing here is we're just gonna be throwing down some copper coat and putting in a few screws in this land beam. This land beam is previous construction. It's been out in the weather for 30-40 years at this point. It's still structurally intact. It's still, everything is good. But since this is the last time that we're going to be able to get to it, we're going to go ahead and throw a few screws in it, put some copper coat in it, just to give us a little bit of peace of mind, just in case any moisture somehow gets behind our house wrap. Time to throw down our PVC vinyl flashing band. This one's about 16 inches wide, be 16 foot long, the length of the deck ledger, and OSHA approved straddle method 394. Check the code book, it's definitely in there, safety man approved. And what this this vinyl flashing band is gonna do for us is just give us some protection in case any moisture gets behind that deck ledger. Because with the deck ledger sandwiched up against the side of the house like that, any moisture that gets in there is gonna take a while to dry out. And then what happens? It rots your rim joist. Especially in this case where our rim joist is sitting right on top of this land beam. We do not want that happening. So this will just give us a little bit of peace of mind, a little bit more security, and it is worth doing just for that reason alone. Alright, time to go ahead and get that foundation clean. Elijah's gonna help us move some sand around the workplace. I'm seeing a future heavy equipment operator there. Just go ahead and get the sill seal laid out, pressed over our anchor bolts, which again are set into our foundation, into our cement filled blocks. I've seen some people put down a sealant underneath or on top or both of this foam sill seal. And while that might be good, I don't think it's necessary for this project because the foundation is about 3 foot off the ground to our seal plate, and this is a garage extension. So we probably will not be keeping this conditioned, the air conditioned to the same level as what's inside the house. Here we go, we just line up our first seal plate over top of our anchors. We give it a few taps with the hammer. Uh-oh. Looks like we got a staple gun, not a hammer, but it's the same thing. We all know that, right? Go ahead and look around for the drill. Get the bit changed out. We'll be ready to get that drilled up and installed. Hydration break. Alright, oh boy. Supervisor's watching me. Gotta get this right. We cannot have our pay getting docked for the week here. Man, the pressure is on. The pressure is on. Get it right. Don't mess it up. Perfect fit. Alrighty. We'll throw those nuts and washers on. We're ready to move on to the next piece. Alright, here we're going to go ahead and throw on some copper coat. Go ahead and freeze the video for just a second while I talk about this because I think I found a great product which I'm sure a lot of people know about. But maybe some people don't, so I'll go ahead and give a little plug here for Tenino Copper Coat. Why do I like this product? Well, I did a fair amount of research, and this brand, Tenino Copper Coat, has the highest amount of active ingredients that you can find on the market. I want to say it's 17% active ingredients with 2% as dissolved copper metal. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's right. So anytime you cut your pressure treated wood, you're going to want to go ahead and throw on some kind of wood ingrain preservative or sealant, and this is the product that I like. Tenino, feel free to sponsor me. I will accept sponsorship in gallons of copper coat. Okay, we give this one more little trim, little bit of copper coat, and there we go. Tight fit, but you want a tight fit with pressure treated because it's going to shrink up a little bit when it dries out completely. Nuts and washers, tighten it down. That's all there is to it. Seal plate done on one side. Yeah, alright, now it's time for our post. Since our anchor lands in the corner for our seal plate, we're gonna have to go ahead and countersink that, which is no big deal. Just go ahead and grab you a 1-inch paddle bit, run it in about 3/4 or an inch. That'll let that anchor bolt sit right in the bottom of that without keeping that post up off the seal plate. We're gonna go with some more. You're gonna hear me call this copper coat about 100 times, but the actual name is Copper Care. But I'm so used to calling it copper coat, that's what you're gonna hear me refer to it as. Go ahead and get our bracing lined up. Strategize for a second about how in the world we're going to lift this 16-foot 6x6 up onto that seal. Go ahead and get the scaffold into position. And I think we're ready to go. And the roof riser certainly would have been a good choice here. But in this case, we just prefer the stability of a post, a continuous post going all the way down to the foundation and all the way up for our handrails. And possibly for a roof in the future. Although at that point we may have to extend it just a little bit to meet the roof line. I think we landed on the one person on top of the scaffold, one person below. Just try to pick it up and throw it up on that seal plate.
1, 2, 3. Sit down.
There we go. Uh-oh. Door rotator cuff. Workman's comp. Alright, we're just gonna slide that countersunk hole right over our anchor. Get it squared up on our seal plate and fasten down at the bottom. Now it's just time to level it up and secure the bracing so it does not move. Alright, here we go. We're going up with our deck ledger board. Also about 16 foot long, but not nearly as heavy as the 6x6. We'll go ahead and enlist some more help from Dad. Get this thrown up here and held in place with a couple screws, and then we'll be able to come back with our ledger locks and secure it. We're gonna leave this deck ledger board down about an inch from our threshold for the doorway. Why? Because our deck boards, don't forget about that. Our deck boards are about an inch thick. I believe they call them 5/4, but nominal size is 1 inch. This way, when we throw down our deck boards, our door threshold will be sitting right on top of that, providing a nice support so you don't get any movement when you step through the door. Celebration.
Come up there.
Uh-oh, look who wanted to join the garage project.
What you think?
Say, what do I think? He said, I think you need to work faster. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and get our end joist cut up. And we went ahead and made that a 2x12. because of course our beam, our rim joist for the deck will be a double 2x12. So we're gonna go ahead and make this a 2x12. That'll give it a nice even appearance all the way around the outside. Screw in a little piece of plyboard here. Helps me hold this somewhat level. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we want to get this somewhat level. Then you can go ahead and screw it in one side, adjust the final level, and secure it.
Alright, so we got our ledger. We have our vinyl flashing behind that, and our house wrap behind that. Now we're going to come over this, a nice piece of Z flashing like such, and then this will get nailed in with some zip tape across the top of here, as well as the same flashing behind the vinyl on the bottom of this ledger. What I'm doing here is go ahead and trim this vinyl back about a ½ inch below the ledger. Then we'll slide our Z flashing in behind this vinyl. All right, there we go. Perfect.
Now we're just gonna go ahead and finish trimming up this vinyl flashing.
All right, and that's it. It's just that.
You can see we've went ahead and put our Z flashing all the way across the top, leaving it long on the outside so I can cut it and bend it exactly when we get that other end joist up. So go ahead and slide the bottom Z flashing up behind that vinyl, and we can go ahead and start throwing in our ledger locks. Look at that, it's coming together. We've gone ahead and got up our end joist and our rim joist for the deck, our beam, which we made out of two 2x12s that we nailed and screwed together. Going to be go ahead and throwing in some 3/8 inch diameter by 8 inch long lag screws to hold up this beam. And there goes my saw. Oh, that's about, I'd say that's about 15 foot in the air. But luckily, as we can go ahead and witness in this next clip, saw still works. Praise the Lord, gotta be thankful. Gonna go ahead and start throwing in some floor joists with our palm nailer. I'd like to go ahead and snag one of those positive placement nailers, but they're a little bit more expensive. But a palm nailer, in my opinion, is much better than nailing them in with a hammer.
We've got our post coming down to the foundation, seal plates, structure is basically rough framed in. Our progress so far: 7 floor joist set, deck joist. We've got our ram joist. All right, here we go. It's been raining, but the rain's let up a little bit. We have work to do.
And that was precisely 1/4 inch.
Didn't even know copper coat. I saw.
And with our last floor joist set, we're going to go ahead and tackle our French door. Got some OSI quad, window door and siding. We're gonna go ahead and throw down 3 3/8 inch beads on our aluminum threshold. And then we'll be ready to set our door. Normally, I would also apply a bead behind the molding on the door, the block molding. But these doors come with a wooden block molding, and for longevity purposes, we're going to be trading that out for some vinyl molding down the road. So I'm not going to seal that to the house wrap at this point. But when we trade that out for the vinyl, that's when we'll go ahead and seal it to the house wrap. Little bit of a tight fit here after all of our waterproofing and flashing. We'll go ahead and get it in there. Just like that, we're done. And the big day has finally arrived. Excavation day. Headed down to the Home Depot. Rented a 4-ton excavator. Got it loaded up. Here we are dropping it off. Gonna be using this to do some excavation for the garage floor, as well as some clearing in the back for some future shed projects that we have planned. We're also going to be using this machine to move a bush.
All right, here we go,
a small
people.
tree rather.
See what the Yanmar V30 VIO 35. Hey, excavator man. Did you call 811? Yes. Yes.
Definitely called 811. Alright, we're going to be go ahead and moving that bush from the garage entrance to right here. There's a little open spot in the hedgerow, so that works out perfectly. Go ahead and get that moved in and out of the way so we'll be able to swing a car in the garage without any branches hitting us.
More throttle. Dial it up.
Trying to get him to throttle that thing up and rip a hole in the ground. Alright, so this is our day with the rental excavator. I don't know if you remember, but there's a big old bush right there. We've gone ahead and taken out. Alright, big track hoe day. Clearing it up. We got the operator. We're getting ready for our slab. It's going to be about 50 foot in this direction that we're oriented now. It's going to be coming off about 24 foot from this fence, which is the property line. And that's going to give us plenty of room for a couple of 16 by 16 sheds and a nice carport used for a piece of equipment, firewood, secondary vehicle, whatever it's needed for. And of course, we'll come back up here to the main garage, and that'll be for the everyday driver. And you can see, since we've moved that bush out of the way and moved it around to the front, we have a nice straight shot. We'll be able to pull around and back into our garage. We went ahead and got our deck blocking up the other day, and so we are in good shape next time for some deck boards and handrails and maybe a roof over the deck. We'll have to see how that goes. Would be nice to have a roof over that deck though, wouldn't it? It's always nice to have a covered porch. You can sit out in the rain, stay out of the sun. It's always nice. Alright, we got the laser level set up, ready to start pulling some measurements, grading out this garage floor. We're going to be putting in about 6 inches of rock, gravel, compacted, then a 4-inch slab. Alright, let's go ahead and jump into this time lapse here. And this is a big day, this is an exciting day. It's always an exciting day on the job. You get to bring in some machinery, move some dirt around, make some good progress in a short amount of time. Always makes you feel good. So you can see me here, I'm pulling the grade levels off of the laser. That's just so we can get everything even. We can get a nice slope started, front to back, 1/8 inch per foot. We're just gonna get ready to rock and roll on this. And there it goes.
You got me open, I keep bleeding, I keep bleeding, love. I keep bleeding, I keep bleeding, love. Keep bleeding.
So what happened here? Well, there was a old septic tank that used to handle the sewage for the house in what is now going to be our garage. I knew it was there. I knew the lid was a little bit deteriorated. I was being careful, but with the dirt over the top, of course I didn't see the corner right there. Stepped on the corner, fell through, and of course the rustiest piece of rebar you've ever seen caught me right in the leg. Alright, finishing up some editing on the video. Go ahead and grab a clip, round out the video, and just explain a little bit better what happened. Like I said, there was a concrete septic tank in the ground that used to handle the house's sewage. It hasn't been used for probably 30 or 40 years, but it was still there. Never been filled in, of course, because who's going to take the time to fill in an old septic tank? And we knew it was there, and I had been, cognizant of the fact it was there and trying to walk around it, be careful. But when you get some machinery going, some noise going, you're thinking about pulling levels for pulling grade. You know how it is, you just forget. Stepped into the corner and my weight just went right through the corner of the top, and down in there was a piece of rebar about I'd say a 3/8. I didn't measure it, of course, but 3/8 inch piece of rebar down at a 45-degree angle like this. And when I fell in, my leg, so the deepest injury was right at the ankle from a 3/8 inch piece of rebar, so about 3/8 of an inch wide, and deep enough that I said, let's go to the hospital. So I sat there, and you can see in the video right away, it's a time lapse, so it's sped up, but just a minute after it happened, as soon as I collected my bearings, and sent an audio message to my girlfriend, said, hey, I've fallen, I'm gonna go ahead to the hospital, but I'm all right, I'm good. But I knew I probably needed some stitches. So we went, a few hours at the hospital, a few stitches. I think he put in 5 stitches. Probably should have put in a couple more because one of them tore. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. And that's it. I'm good. At that time, I had about a week left. You know, if you want to count Saturdays working, I probably had maybe 7, 8, 9 days. I can't remember exactly. So of course, with 7 to 9 days left, we were already on an extremely tight timeline. And it was really going to be a push to get it done after this. Of course, with stitches, my ankle swelled up. Was not able to complete the project this time. But current project turned into future project. We'll finish it up on the next work trip. And unfortunately, that's just the way life goes sometimes. However, we have to be thankful. I fell in, my leg levered against that top. I could have easily broken the leg. The rebar that was down could have been up. Could have sent a piece of rebar right through my leg. So I'm very thankful. Very thankful. Praise the Lord, nothing worse happened. And I just want to take a second and read a Bible verse from Psalms 46, verse 1. It says, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. And he was. Worked it out, so not only did I not break a leg or send a piece of rebar through my leg, I also worked it out so that the medical bill is going to be covered through insurance. What would have been a very expensive bill is going to be covered. So I'm extremely thankful to the Lord. I praise the Lord that I didn't get hurt worse or end up with a medical bill that could be significant. So with all that being said, that's where the project stands today. And I have a feeling that we're going to see it in an upcoming video being finished. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, it's a long video, right? Thanks for watching, if anyone watched it. And feel free to give the like. I don't know how the YouTube algorithm works. That's what they say, right? Like and subscribe.